One of the most common issues I see people have with playing airsoft is problems with face masks and goggles fogging up. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of system that you use, whether you're using a full face paintball mask or just separate goggles and a mesh mask. There's always a certain amount of fogging that takes place. And there are some solutions that you can take that can somewhat mitigate the problem with either mounting fans in it, or you can get some of the goggles that have thermal lenses, or you can use certain kinds of anti-fog treatments on the lens. But regardless of what you do, you're still going to be subject to some kind of fogging going on. And that's pretty much across the board, whether you're playing indoors or outdoors, or even the time of year. I see guys in the middle of winter that are still having trouble with fogging because you're breathing hard, you're working up a sweat, and just that temperature differential between the inside and the outside of the mask will generate a certain amount of condensation inside of the goggle or the face mask. So really the only solution that I've seen to get away from that completely is to get away from goggles and to go for a mesh style mask, which has been my main solution to the problem that I've been using lately. Now, there are, of course, a number of models that are out on the market. The one that I personally prefer is the Striker, which is made by Matrix. I personally like this because it gives you a little bit better peripheral vision. There are other ones that just cover the front of your face, and you still feel like you kind of have blinders on, where this one gives you good side vision for picking up people that are trying to sneak in on your flanks. This gives you a little bit of a better advantage. Now, there are, of course, some downsides to wearing this style of a mask. First of all, the back of your head is pretty much wide open, and for those of us that don't have a lot of hair, getting shot on the back of your head in an unprotected area really sucks. The other problem is just sort of a design aesthetic thing that I wasn't really crazy about. Is you can see it sort of has a sunken in kind of look to it. I guess they were going for sort of that Iron Man kind of aesthetic with the mask, but when you're wearing it, it kind of makes you feel like your cheeks are sunk in, and it's just not a very comfortable kind of feel for me. But it's an easy thing to fix because the mesh is very pliable, and you can just bend that out and just get a better fit out of it. And in general, as far as the fit of the mask, it's very easy to sort of shape it to your particular face so that you can get a comfortable fit with it. Now, one of the easiest ways to get around the problems of having the back of the mask open is to just couple your face mask with a fast helmet. This is just one of the standard, this is a Vulcan fast helmet, one of their cheaper models. It fits perfectly with the Striker face mask, and the rear is covered up. The only problem with these is that most of these helmets come with some sort of padding on the inside, and to get a good fit between your face mask and your helmet, you're going to have to strip out all of the padding on the inside of the helmet. But once you do that, you can see you get a very good fit with it. And it's fairly simple to assemble it and get it on. You can just use the regular chin strap to hold the whole thing together. And it's a pretty good integrated system that probably the best thing about it is there's really no gaps in the armor for the bullets to get through. Now, as far as my own personal version of this sort of integrated face mask helmet kind of rig, I went with something that's a little bit different than the first version I showed you, which is I'm using an IBH helmet rather than a fast helmet. For those of you guys that are out there that are into the nomenclature, an IBH helmet is an integrated ballistic helmet, which was pretty much the forerunner to the more modern fast helmets and bump helmets that are out on the market today. These were phased out in favor of the more modern design, but for the sake of what we're doing here with the fit with the Striker mask and the helmet, you can see the IBH has a much better fit with the Striker, and these are still pretty readily available on the internet. So if you want to get something that's a little bit different than what everybody else has, you might want to go out and get an IBH rather than a fast helmet. And of course, to cap it all off, I decided to get the helmet cover to match my camo scheme, so I'm going with the Cryptic Typhon, which is sort of my camo of choice lately. Now, there is always the concern when you're using a full-face mesh like this that there is the potential for when the projectiles hit, for them to shatter and then bits and pieces penetrate the mask and hit you in the face. It does happen, and it was one of my bigger concerns when I decided to go to something like this. I asked around to a lot of the guys that I saw that were using full-face mesh, and I have to say I'm a little bit surprised that after several years of people using these here, nobody has really complained of any kind of major penetration where they suffered any kind of injury for it. Although, out of an abundance of caution, I would recommend to anybody that's doing something like this to wear just safety glasses underneath, just to give you an extra layer of protection, so there's absolutely no chance of getting any kind of injury. And you can see I've gotten shot at point blank range with this to where it has dinged up the mask pretty good, but I've yet to feel any kind of major penetration coming through. But like I said, for your own sake, cover up and wear a pair of safety glasses when you're doing something like this. So if you're one of those guys that's out there that's getting tired of having your goggles fog up on you all the time, you may want to try one of these full face style mesh. It's probably the best solution on the market today. You get better peripheral vision, you get good circulation so you don't sweat as much, and they're pretty easy to get on and off. They just simply pull right on and you're off to the races. You don't have to worry about goofing around with your goggles and your face mask and getting all that stuff put together. And if you want to try them out, we have them here at Replay Airsoft Arena. You can come try it before you buy it, and that way you'll know exactly what you're getting before you spend all of your money. So come on down here to Replay Airsoft Arena. If you need more information, go to our website at replayairsoft.com. And until the next time, don't let the bastards get you down.